All right, so as we mentioned, there is a rumored PlayStation showcase coming up next week. And uh, going along with this, the ESRB just rated Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, which we've talked about before. Um, Thoughts about both?
well, I guess getting this out of the way. I think having a state of play is possibly a good thing to have. I mean, especially coming off the coattails of the PS5 Pro release. If they actually show some new games to play on there, I think that would be great. I mean, sure, of course, they were showing off the fact that you have the enhanced modes for current PS5 games, but to actually show some newer games that one could say takes advantage of the hardware, um, would be a plus. So hopefully, maybe they'll show something new. Perhaps they won't, but it maybe so. As far as Horizon Zero Dawn, why are we doing this again? Why? I mean, granted, it's not like they remastered it already or did any sort of remake, but why is it gotta be God of War, Horizon, and Last of Us? Why are those the only games that Sony wants to remaster when they have other games they could do this with, like Bloodborne, for crying out loud? They could be doing this with Infamous. They could be doing this with, they could possibly even do this, like, say, Jak and Daxter. Like, where's that? We haven't had Jak and Daxter in years. I mean, but it's so frustrating that, I mean, I really believe this is gonna be true. I mean, this is likely definitely going to be at this alleged state of play, and it's just like, going back to what I said, why not show something new? You're showing us a PS4 game that is getting a remaster. I'm just like, I just bang my head against the wall because Sony is not giving us what we want. Okay, what I want really, but what a lot of gamers want, which is Bloodborne. Where's that? I mean, like I said, the 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 emulation community is going to give us Bloodborne before Sony does at this rate, and I mean, considering the fact that they've been making incredible leaps and bounds as of late, I mean, it definitely seems more possible, likely sooner than later. Um, but yeah, but I really cannot fathom why they have to keep remastering these PS4 games. I mean, even if I ignore Bloodborne, I really feel like it's really too soon to just be porting and remastering your PS4 catalog when you could be going back further to other games from like your PS3 days, and maybe even go back further to maybe some games that were on the PS2 or something like that. I don't get why they are only focusing on these on these three sole uh franchises, when they could be focusing on anything else, and it just baffles me. Because I mean, what's next? Are they going to now have Horizon Zero Dawn remake, and then like when the PS6 comes out, Horizon Zero Dawn remake remaster? And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, they're gonna save that for Last of Us first. I'm sorry, I can't be getting at my
Yeah.
things out of order, but I really just can't get it. But I mean, I do think a state of play is definitely likely. But again, I hope that they would show something completely new, and not even something that is a necessarily remaster. Like, I mean, I don't think there's really any reason to show this. I mean, they probably might, but don't show Until Dawn. Like, we already know that's coming. We get that. And they've already already sort of shown off the graphical differences already as it is between the PS4 version and the PS5 version. So I don't really think they need to focus on that at all. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I mean, if they want to surprise us with something new, that would be great, but I'm not really gonna hold my breath on that. But who knows? Maybe also, jumping back, maybe they might say, well, in addition to, bringing back our Freedom Wars from Japan studio, we're gonna also bring back Gravity Rush as well and have this nice collection for the PS5 and PC. But again, I'll hold my breath there.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you the reason why they're focused on PS4 games. And it's simply because the fact that those are the easiest to port and they know people will still buy them. Even though, of course, Horizon Zero Dawn already has a 60 FPS patch on PS5. I can't imagine they're going to do anything to make it better. I could see them changing Aloy's appearance to make her look closer to how she looks on Forbidden West, where she's less attractive. Just because, they would probably do that. They've done that with other characters before as well, so that's what I'm expecting is going to be one of the reasons they're doing it. I mean, I'm not sure what they could do gameplay-wise to... what they could bring over from Forbidden West to Zero Dawn to make it better. Because really the only thing that I can think of that specifically is like a new feature in Forbidden West that isn't in Zero Dawn that's actually like a really good feature would be something that they'd have to really mess around and it would change the game too much, I think. And that's the hook shot thing, or the grappling hook that they have in Forbidden West, because I mean that's really the one thing that Forbidden West has that Zero Dawn does not, that makes a dramatic difference in traversal. And I guess they also have the glider, which they clearly took from Breath of the Wild, but that's fine. I mean, it was a good feature to take from Breath of the Wild. Yeah. So, as far as the PlayStation Showcase, because I believe that's what they're saying, is that it's a showcase, not a state of play. Because state of play typically focuses more on like third-party stuff. Showcase is specifically supposed to be first-party, even though the last showcase wasn't all that much. But I think that it would make perfect sense for them to have the showcase so that they can show off some actual first-party games. I'm hoping that even if a bunch of it is just remasters, that they do something that they have at least some new stuff there. Because it's like, okay, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, guaranteed to be there. It's going to be shown, assuming this PlayStation Showcase is real, it's going to be shown there. There's a potential we could see Freedom Wars, at least, mentioned in a highlight reel or something, because of the fact that it is coming to PS4 and PS5. And of course that one's also PC day one, so that's great. PC and Switch day one. I know what things I want to see. I want to see the Gravity Rush games. I want to see Bloodborne. I want to see Infamous. I would love to get a Sly Cooper collection with all 4 games. Even though one of them is, not made by Sucker Punch, but in many ways it's probably my favorite of those games. There's so many things that they could bring back that would be older games that would be much more worthwhile than just bringing back something from PS4 that literally you already have a version that does all of that that you can play on the PS5, and you don't have to buy it a second time. I mean, like, one of the guys I've mentioned before who does lots of platinums and everything, he said that he knows that he's part of the problem, but he would buy Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered as long as he had the ability to re-earn all the trophies. And it's like, okay, you know, like I get it. And it has been, to be fair, it's been 6 years since, actually, no, 7 years. Wait. Came out 2017, so
Yeah, that would be 7 years.
yeah, 7 years. It's been 7 years since the game originally came out. So from that standpoint, it's like, okay, it's been a reasonable amount of time. But the fact is that you can already play Zero Dawn on PS5 at 60 frames per second. There's just no reason for this, except the fact that they can sell people product that will have minimal improvements. It will be as much of an improvement over the original version as Last of Us Part 2 was. Although Last of Us Part 2 is a much shorter gap between. Anyway. Either way, I'm hoping that they do have a showcase soon, because I would like to see what else is coming to PC, because pretty much all these games now, anytime they do a remaster, it's coming to PS5 and PC the same day. That's what's been the case so far. I mean, they did it with Until Dawn. They're doing it with Freedom Wars. What else was there? I mean, obviously Helldivers was day and date. Concord, as short-lived as it was day and date. You know, it seems like anytime they do these remasters, though, they're going to be probably day and date going forward. I think that was the only reason that they didn't do that earlier with, like, Last of Us Part 1, for example, was because of the fact that they just hadn't had their studios ready long enough to have it prepared in time. I think otherwise it probably would have been day and date. But anyway, lots of stuff that they could reveal. I'm hoping that they do reveal something. But my guess is that they're probably going to do some PS5 Pro enhanced titles, which gets us to our next topic.